All right. So
Although I don't know if that is the case. Maybe it wasn't.
what was that? It's a card. Next question. I want you to pick a bloody battle during the American Civil War. It's quite a few to choose from.
That's it.
For now. There'll be a
Okay.
twist.
I'll go with the Battle of Antietam, bloodiest single day in American history.
You
I'll
got one
go
in mind.
Shiloh.
Okay.
I'll take the crater.
Ah. I know this one, Pete. You had to tell me about this one. Okay. So the twist to this question is, why would you be most likely to survive this battle? against
Yes,
the
I
other
called
choices?
it.
So yeah, Woody kind of, I guess. Well, actually, I don't know. Pete, you got a pretty bad one too.
I don't know. I've got an ace up my sleeve. I think I got something good for this.
I should just be like,
Oh,
yes,
how
Pete,
would you
you're in the
survive the
crater.
crater? Don't fall in the crater.
Yeah. Okay, you know what, Pete? Oh, okay, wait, no, Tegan can go first because it's true. You already went first, Pete.
So, Shiloh is known as the place where Grant got his butcher's bill, but it was pretty early in the war, and that's why it was considered so bloody. We really hadn't seen the true terrors war could bring. I'm going to join the Union because I live in St. Louis, and St. Louis always stayed in the Union, which meant I have two options of really armies to be, in Shiloh with. Army of Tennessee, which saw quite a bit of fighting, and then there's the Army of Ohio, which only came in on the second day. You go to the Army of Ohio, bada bing, bada boom, you're pretty overall safe. Compare it to other battles later in the war with casualty rates beyond 20%, 30%. Shiloh, pretty survivable. The Confederates don't have the best muskets. I mean, the hospitals aren't already getting overrun with people. And it isn't even as bloody battle where it really stops the movement of the war for long, as soon Grant and Buell were moving on. You really have a pretty good shot of surviving Shiloh and then getting killed at some later battle, like, I don't know, the Crater or Antietam, which were complete bloodbaths, would really show what was what. But Shiloh, yeah, newspapers really did say it was bloody, but that's because they ain't seen nothing yet.
Perfect. Well done. Done. Pete, let's explain how you're gonna get out of that crater.
Okay, yeah, Battle of the Crater is a tricky one. So I'm gonna have to come at it from this is a bit of a dark angle, but it's the only angle I've got to survive it. I would survive the Battle of the Crater because I'm white, basically.
Oh my god!
Like, if I'm on the Union side, like, it was a tragic loss of African American lives, but basically it was a needless sacrifice of African American lives. As a white guy, I think I'm going to be pretty okay with it. I'll just be like standing back, watching the tragedy unfold. I'm not going to be like committed into it. I'm not going to be in the I can't remember the name of the specific unit. One of you guys will probably actually know the specific unit who gets like sent in. But yeah, as a white guy, I'm not going to be involved in it. That's how I'm surviving the battle.
Okay, you can finish with that, and I'm probably gonna clip that one.
I would like to be the first one to respond to that one.
Go.
Too.
Yeah.
But Antietam. So the Battle of Antietam, bloodiest single day in American history, with 23,000 casualties at the end of 12 hours of fighting. However, at least from the Union side, McClellan only committed, like, I can't remember the exact number, but it's somewhere around like maybe a half to 2/3 of his forces in the Army of the Potomac. So like almost all of Fifth Corps, except for one division of the Fifth Corps in the Army of the Potomac, wasn't even engaged at Antietam. They just sat there and watched the battle unfold from the sidelines. On the Confederate side, if I were to pick a way to survive, I'd probably want to be in Robert Toombs' brigade, because they were the ones holding Burnside's bridge. And they did, except for the fighting at Burnside's bridge, they basically, the only reason they had to fall back at the end of that fighting was because they ran out of ammo. So I would say that being in Toombs' brigade would be a good way to survive in the Confederacy. And then in the Union, I just want to be in Fifth Corps, I suppose. Then I could survive the Battle of Antietam. I could say I was there and not have done anything at all.
done, and wow. Good luck to the rest of you. He just named both sides and specific units to be part of. Oh boy.
Yeah,
But
that's pretty
Woody,
good.
did you want to go first to attack the crater? You had said
I did because I actually have a good explanation for how you would
Go.
still die.
go for it. I want to hear it.
So first of all, at the Battle of the Crater, when the explosion first started and the Union launched their attack, it was actually a bunch of white guys that started the attack in front of the USCT troops. And the problem is they because General Meade wanted to make sure that it didn't look like they were sending black troops into the slaughter, which they still ended up doing. But they started by having a bunch of exhausted white troops from 9th Corps launch the attack. And they didn't even know the plan. Basically, they had like maybe a day to study it, whereas the USCT troops had like all this planning made for it. So when they get to the crater, they're told just don't go into the crater, but naturally they go up to, they see a big ass hole and they're like, whoa, and then they all start going into it. So, and if you're an officer in the USCT, you're still probably going to get killed. Now for Shiloh, I mean, if you're in the Army of the Ohio, you still have a good chance of getting killed because the second day they did a lot of bloody fighting.
Done. Jeez. I don't know if Pete, do you want to follow that one up
I mean,
from the front?
I feel like I'm dead already.
Yeah, you
but-
are.
but I can try. Okay. Okay. The problem with both of you is like at Shiloh, you're putting your confidence in a guy who's renowned for being perfectly happy to sacrifice as many lives as needed to win the battle. Like Grant is a great general, but he has no qualms about committing men into battle, and like he's not going to just like hold back if he needed to. This is not someone that I want commanding me. I would rather have someone like McClellan, who's a bit of a coward and a little bit like more passive, got good ways of solving that. But the problem there is that he's just incompetent on a battlefield. He's like great on the drill parade and everything like that. Incompetent on the battlefield. I don't want to be fighting under either of those guys. For the crater, if I'm on the Confederate side, by the way, I'm obviously gravy. Like if I'm on the Confederate side, so long as I'm not like standing on the mine, gravy, gonna be surviving that. If I'm going into the crater, loads of people are dying. I'm just playing dead.
Done. All right, Tegan.
Well, Woody, I'm very glad that if you are in one core, you'll be doing great. Now, I'm not sure how much you can choose with that, as being a conscript, you get moved around a lot. And while, yeah, the Army of the Ohio did get engaged quite a bit, I mean, is it anything compared to what the Union suffered in the cornfield or Bloody Lane, which I'm sure was a name earned for its lovely sights and peacefulness? Now, Peter, I mean, yeah, you could be a Confederate, but I mean, one, good luck, buddy. You're going to have a hard time getting to a Confederate all the way from England during the time of the blockade. More importantly, you're ready to die of disease a couple of days later. Battles don't end. They are. Well, the Battle of Shiloh was such a mess that certain Confederate brigades barely got engaged, especially with some of the reserves. I mean, when you have such a mess.
I like that he threw that British part at the end because it's true. You just all of a sudden picked your race at the offset, so you kind of opened the door to it.
Yeah, I know. I didn't think about that.
You should have been like, yeah, I'm an advisor from Britain, just watching from the side.
Ah, that would have been great.